Hello, Africa. This is eTVGhana's African Women's Voices Show. My name is Eunice Tony, and you are highly welcome to today's episode. How have you been? It's been wonderful all this time with you on social media. Your questions, your comments have all been tripping in, and I'm so happy that we had the chance to be able to answer your questions. The women from EWN are really grateful for the conversation that we had with them last time. And those of you who asked questions, I want to believe that your answers are to your satisfaction. However, if you still want to ask further questions, feel free to log on to our Facebook page, Instagram page, or even Twitter page and ask your questions. We definitely will get it across to them. Now, this show is proudly brought to you by very responsible brands. Chanashito is one of them, and Chanashito is Ghana's #1 pepper sauce. If you haven't tried Chanashito as a pepper sauce or as an additive to your food, it's time you did that, okay? And you definitely would be sending me comments and messages that you enjoyed it. And my beautiful outfit is put together by Afariwa Styles. Afariwa always ensures that I look really gorgeous and beautiful every Wednesday, and the show is partly put together by a very responsible brand again that has always watched our back and always said we want to associate with you. Afariwa, thank you so much for being so responsible and for making me look this good. You can locate Afariwa Styles on Instagram, on Facebook at afariwa.styles. Her phone number is being scrolled right now at the base of your screen. Tomorrow, please give her a call and tell her whatever it is that you want. I'm very sure you're going to be able to find something. She deals in ladies and gents contemporary outfits. She also got jewelries and also footwears that will go with it. And the interesting thing about Afariwa Styles is that the items are ready-made. Yes, they are ready-made. So all you need to do is to walk into the shop, try to fit something. If it works for you, you are on the go. No more disappointments from all the people who keep telling you to come today or tomorrow. Fashion designers, I am on you because you guys have really given us a hell of a time. Okay, thank you so much for my hair, Awo's hair. You did this and it's looking so beautiful. I am so proud of it and I'm rocking it with style. Okay, if you want to reach her, the beautiful thing about her too is that she's easily reached on Instagram and Facebook at Awo's Hair. Her phone number is also right now at the base of your screen. Please give her a call. She can bleach your hair. She can give you weaves. She can give you braids. Whatever style it is that you want to fix, Awo can take care of that. Okay, so as we always do, we always tell you about what's going on with women in Ghana and across Africa and the entire world. Once you're an African woman, it's time for me to take you to the 60 seconds update segment where we tell you what's going on in the lives of women. And when we return, I will be introducing my guest. So do not go away. Do stay tuned.
Deputy Minister Designate of Finance Abena Osei Asari has revealed Ghanaians must be prepared to pay more taxes as the government seeks to embark on an aggressive domestic revenue mobilization drive to migrate the negative impact of coronavirus on the economy. According to the Deputy Minister Designate, the government is aggressively working to increase the country's GDP from 13% to 20% by 2023, has been done by countries within the sub-region. She added that the introduction of new taxes in the 2021 budget and the Ghana government payment platform is also expected to improve efficiency and revenue mobilization. There is an announcement by the Digital Opportunity Trust to have a timely collaboration with IBM to empower young women and men in Africa and the Middle East with the digital skills, workforce readiness proficiencies, and business knowledge needed for social well-being, economic growth, and successful careers. Providing career skills to youth, particularly young women and those from the under-resourced communities, can be life-changing, said Justina Nixon Saintil, IBM Vice President and Global Head, Corporate Social Responsibility. Member of Parliament for Ketu South, Jifa Gomashi, has tasked government and stakeholders in the art industry to institute measures to restrict the increasing rate of foreign content on local TV stations. Speaking in Parliament on AU Day, she said that the influx of foreign content is hindering the growth of the arts and entertainment industry. According to her, TV stations must be tasked to follow the 70-30 content rule, which will allow them to show more Ghanaian content, including ones that could also prove educational.
Welcome back to eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. If you just joined us, well, you haven't missed, but you've missed the 60 seconds update. Oh, I am so sorry, but the show has to go on. Now we are going to get into the conversation that we promised to bring to you on all our social media platforms. We talked about preeclampsia in women and how we are going to be able to manage it. A lot of you also are very interested in this topic because it's happening around us, and sometimes out of fear, people do not even want to go see the doctor because they don't want to hear maybe negative news. Today we've got a doctor in the house who's going to be advising us and counseling us about, you know, things we need to know around preeclampsia. And we also have a survivor, somebody who actually has gone through it. She's going to share her story, and we want to believe that is going to inspire you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you our guest for today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to let you introduce yourself. So, to my immediate left, we have...
My name is Dr. Catherine Atobeko. I'm a resident in obstetrics and gynecology at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Ridge.
Thank you very much. And you are?
My name is Nana Ifia Sapong. I'm a preeclampsia survivor and the executive director of Ifia Sapong Foundation.
Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to set the ball rolling with this footage. This is going to help us to have the conversation we're going to be having today. So, I want to link you to the footage. Just keep your eyes glued to your TV set.
Hello everyone. My name is Nana Ifia Sapong, the executive director of Ifia Sapong Foundation and a preeclampsia survivor. Preeclampsia is pregnancy-induced hypertension and one of the leading causes of maternal mortality in Ghana. In 2019, we launched the Ifia Sapong Foundation with our maiden program, Preeclampsia Initiative, to create awareness about this deadly condition. Since then, we've had a number of awareness creation programs, such as educating pregnant women, online and social media interactions, a Zoom interactive program where we had a psychologist and a doctor be online to answer all pertinent questions that the public had. One of our awareness creation programs, which we are really excited about, which was made possible through the donations when we launched the foundation, is a collaboration with Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service to produce an educational video which will be shown in all maternity clinics across the country.
Hey, sister Kosia, you say na fata usei. Hey, una singing na ta.
We officially launched this educational video at Salt Pond Government Hospital on May 19th, 2021 as part of commemorating the World Preeclampsia Day. In addition, we will distribute blood pressure machines to the hospital and pregnant women to enable them check their blood pressure at home. We appreciate your support so far and encourage you to continue to donate, share our educational materials on social media, like and follow our social media handles. God bless you, and may God continue to protect pregnant women throughout their pregnancy and beyond.
Come back to eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. So we've introduced you to the Ifia Sapong Foundation and what they do. And she talked about, you know, she emphasized on preeclampsia, and this has got to do with hypertension in pregnant women. So this is when I get to ask our doctor a question around, you know, this condition. So would you say that it is the fault of a mother? You know, if one gets to have, you know, this condition, would you say it's their fault?
No. Preeclampsia is not the fault of the mother. It's something no woman should blame herself for. However, there are some risk factors a woman can have that can predispose her to having preeclampsia. So if a woman is, unfortunately for us, of the black race, it puts you at an increased risk of having preeclampsia. Also, for extremes of age, for teenagers and also for women above 40, it puts you at risk of having preeclampsia. If this is your first pregnancy, you're at increased risk. If your pregnancy, your current pregnancy is with a different partner than the previous kids, you are at risk. If it's a multiple pregnancy, so twins, triplets, quadruplets, the more the fetuses you have inside, the higher your chances of getting preeclampsia. If you have pre-existing conditions, like already have hypertension, if you have diabetes, if you have renal impairment, kidney disease, that's an increased risk as well. Also, if you have a first-degree family relative, if your mother had it, if your sister had it, you might just have it. Those are just risk factors. It doesn't make it your fault. It's no woman's fault.
Okay, so let's let you know right now that maybe if you were told that you had it when you were pregnant, do not beat yourself. It wasn't your fault. It's not because of anything that you did. Okay, it just happened. And I mean, there is life after preeclampsia. And I want to say to everyone who has gone through this condition, keep being the strong woman that you are. But I'm not going to leave you. I would like to also find out something that you just mentioned right now. If the partner you're having the baby with is a different person from the person, from the child you had initially, it exposes you?
It puts you at
risk.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that you would get it.
Okay, so what kind of risk? Is it that the sperm is because it's different? Why? Why would it put you at risk?
So there have been many different hypotheses that have been put out as to the exact cause of preeclampsia. And there's the genetic theory that says because you have different genetic material in there, it predisposes you to getting preeclampsia. But it doesn't always happen. As with any risk factor, it's a risk factor. It doesn't necessarily mean it will happen.
Thank you for providing clarity on that. Okay, doctor, so what does preeclampsia actually cost the mother and the child? What if you've got it, what does it do to you?
Okay, so the thing about preeclampsia, the reason why we are making so much noise about it is that the complications would affect both mother and baby. So for the mother, it starts by giving central nervous system disturbances like having seizures. It can affect, you can have a stroke. You can bleed in the brain, what you would ordinarily call a stroke. It can affect the blood vessels in your eyes, and then you have blindness. But it starts initially as blurred vision, double vision. You can't really see properly. And sometimes they're like, oh, it's normal. No, it's not.
Wow.
It can affect your heart. You can go into heart failure. It can have, it can lead to fluid accumulating in your lungs. We call it pulmonary edema. So they can't breathe properly. It can affect your liver. So they have pain in the right side of their abdomen, in the middle part of their abdomen, and it just feels like, oh, I've eaten too much. I have gas. No, it might be damage to your liver. It can cause kidney damage. So your kidney will not be functioning properly. So you see them getting very swollen. It's normal for every pregnant woman to get swollen feet because of the weight of the baby, but you see them very swollen, like from face down. They look like totally puffy. That's your kidneys failing over there. So it causes multi-organ damage. And for the baby, it can cause the placenta to detach when you haven't given birth. The baby is still in there, the placenta detaches. That unfortunately will lead to the death of your baby. You would initially bleed, and then the baby would be gone. And if that doesn't happen, you get your baby being smaller than the gestational age. So let's say the baby is at term, what we say call 9 months. The baby is supposed to be, let's say, averagely about more than 2.5 kilos, ranging to about 3.5 kilos thereabout. But you have a really tiny baby, that's not supposed to be the baby size. So those are some of the complications that can happen to both mother and baby.
Wow.
Unfortunately, also, if we don't treat this, you get eclampsia, which is the complication of preeclampsia. And for that one, you have seizures. And unfortunately, that's one usually leads to death if it's not treated. The death of the mother.
Death of the mother.
Yeah.
Okay, this is really getting interesting, and we'll all like to find out how Ifya got to know that she had gotten this. We want to know how you found out, but that will be coming up right after this break. When we return, we hear from Ifya how she exactly found out about her condition. Welcome back to the show. Just before we went, the doctor was able to counsel us on the part that mothers should not feel that it was their fault or by their fault that they maybe got exposed to preeclampsia. No, that's not the reason. Sometimes it happens genetically. Sometimes it also happens, because of what is around you and the conditions you're facing. So please, if you have been giving yourself that guilty beat, please leave that side of the world and know that it happens. And when it happens, there's life and there's hope afterwards. So before we went on the break, I mentioned that I would like to hear from Ifya how she got to know about her condition. So Ifya, tell us, how did you get to know?
When I got pregnant, that's 2017, around 4 months, my feet were swollen. My mom drew my attention to the fact that my feet were too swollen too early, which is not too normal. As the doctor mentioned, it's normal for your feet to get swollen, but usually I think it happens when it's getting closer to, or when you're gaining more weight, or you're bigger and it's getting closer to your term. I brought this to the attention of my doctor, and anytime I go to the for antenatal, they check my feet. I was told to rest my feet. To check my pressure, everything was fine. But usually I was told that if I see anything, I should report to the hospital. So fast forward to, I traveled. I had my first ultrasound. I was told that my amniotic fluid is not to, the level of the amniotic fluid is not to the level that it's supposed to be, but it's not that alarming. And the weight of the baby, as the doctor mentioned, the weight of the baby is not what it's supposed to be at the time that I am at during my pregnancy. So I should give it about a week, but rest, drink a lot of water, and then come back for a checkup. So during the week leading up to when I'm supposed to actually go for my second ultrasound scan, I felt that I was supposed to be counting my kicks as well during that time. So count your kicks and record it. So on a Sunday, I felt this rapid movement in my tummy, which I was pretty excited about. I was like, oh, this baby's really
moving.
Yeah, really excited today. I actually counted more than 10 kicks that day. After some time, I didn't feel that movement anymore, because the baby wasn't that active during the pregnancy. So I just felt like, okay, that day was an active day for the baby. The following day, which was a Monday, I had this pain in my upper abdomen, which I felt was gas. So I took some gas medication. As usual, if you have gas, you take medication, you lie down,
you get your relief.
You're fine. But then because I was pregnant, of course, I couldn't lie on my tummy, so I felt that, okay, that's why it has prolonged, and that's the reason why the gas is still there. On Tuesday, I threw up. The gas and the pain moved from my upper abdomen, then I had some crampy feeling. So I went to the hospital. That's when I actually reported to the hospital. When I got there, they checked my heartbeat. I thought I could hear a heartbeat. I didn't know what it was. But that's when I heard the condition the first time. They asked me if I have a headache, and I said, I don't have a headache, I just don't feel okay. So they checked my pressure, it was around 200, and they told me, okay, there's a condition called preeclampsia. They were actually having a conversation about it, so that's when I heard about the condition preeclampsia. So they checked the baby, and they told me that they're sure that the baby is gone. So I was like, okay, first of all, I'm in pain. This is too much to take. I couldn't even comprehend what they were saying. And I felt that they didn't know what they were talking about. They don't believe in God. So I started praying.
You had your faith, baby, you're going to kick again.
I started praying, saying my rosary and everything. And the next thing I was told that, okay, under normal circumstance, when you have preeclampsia and they can't bring your pressure down, they deliver the baby. And sometimes maybe it's through CS. But because they were, 100% or 99% sure, as they put it, that the baby was gone, so they had to they'll induce me to have, to deliver the baby, so I don't have to go through the CS pain after you have a dead baby. So I was induced, and I remember I was told that they have to they're trying to bring my pressure down. As the doctor said, they were preparing me for a seizure as well. I didn't know that. I got to know later on, because what they were trying to do at the time. And yes, you have to lie on your left. So going through all that pain and still being in one position, you can't move around. You just have to go through that same position, go through contractions and everything. And I was told that they're trying to bring my pressure down, but that's not working. So they're going to try to give me another last medication. If the pressure is not able to come down, then they have to take me to ICU, because I'm supposed to be in ICU and maternity ward at the same time, which is not possible. And from that time, I just remember telling them that, oh, I think I feel that the baby is coming out. So they were not even ready for the baby, because they checked I was like 5 centimeters. They were not ready for the baby, but it just came out.
Wow.
And then from there, I blacked out. I just remember one of my aunts just yelling in the room, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. So I took a really deep breath. That's when I kind of like, I saw what was happening, and then I asked them if what the doctors said was true. And so because it's in the US, what happens that they gave me the baby. So I held the baby. I held the dead baby, just to basically confirm that, yeah, it was true. And they took the baby away, and I was taken to ICU. I received blood. I was in ICU for some time, a couple of days, and I know I got some blood transfusion. So that's when I also was informed that I had severe preeclampsia, the complication of preeclampsia, which is HELLP syndrome, which affects your liver, your kidney. And then the day that the baby was, excited, I thought the baby was excited. The baby was actually in distress, so the baby detached from the placenta, and that's caused the placenta abruptio that I got. So that I think led to the bleeding. So I think maybe I was bleeding inside or something like that. I mean, listening to the doctors after I've been doing this gave more explanation to some of the things that happened. So after that, I was asked to, so I was put on blood pressure medication for some time, because my pressure had gone up, and put it for some time. After, I think 6 weeks or maybe 2 months after, checking the blood pressure regularly, because I was supposed to take my pressure twice a day at the same time, morning and evening. So after some time, they took me off gradually, and then I got off the medication. So after, the only thing that I could hear was, you could have died. You basically died, because if what you had, your liver, your kidney, everything had gone haywire. And if it had persisted for, maybe a couple of more days, or if I hadn't reported to the hospital when I did, it would have been, fatal. So that's when I got to know about preeclampsia, and then I started reading more about it.
Wow, amazing. And today we've given birth to Sapong Foundation.
Yes.
Because of that. But how is it today? Do you have another baby now?
Yes, I do. And I'm a little emotional now, just because today is I have 2 kids, but today is the boy's birthday, and the child that I lost was a boy as well.
Wow.
So today is his first birthday. So that's why I'm a little
emotional. Could you wish baby a happy birthday right now?
Okay, so happy birthday, Kwabena Jenim Boateng. Mommy really loves you. Thank you for being who you are, bringing so much joy to the family. And yes, may God protect you. May you grow up to be what God has destined you to be. Amen.
Wow, amazing. Happy birthday to you. Okay. All right. So on that happy birthday note, we'll go for another commercial break. When we return, we would like Doctor to talk about, antenatal, because she mentioned that she went for her antenatal consultation, and then that was where, stuff started happening. So we will really need the doctor to be able to let us know the importance of actually attending antenatal. Okay. So please, let's go for this break and return. Do stay tuned to eTV Ghana. You're welcome back to eTV Ghana's African Women's Voices show. And now we get to ask the doctor. Doctor, tell us, what would you say is the importance that has to be attached to antenatal? A lot of times women feel like, okay, do you know what? It just started. I think after 6 months or after 7 months, I can begin to attend the antenatal. I don't have time to be going from 6 weeks, every month. I can't do that. Please advise us. Let us know. Does it really help?
I cannot overemphasize the importance of antenatal care. Okay. It is so important. I mean, bringing another child, another person into the world is such an important thing. There's another human being growing in your body, and you need to be taken care of. So as soon as you test positive, as soon as you feel you're pregnant, you have missed your period, if you do a home pregnancy test, you know you're pregnant, go to the hospital, confirm the pregnancy. Let's make sure an ultrasound scan is done. We make sure the baby is in the correct place. Some people have pregnancies outside the womb. That causes other complications. So we need to confirm the pregnancy. We need to date the pregnancy correctly, especially for women who do not really know how their cycle goes. Also, when you report for antenatal care, there are some initial investigations that are done. For example, your blood group is checked, your sickling status, other
sugar
systems,
in the blood.
Yeah, sugar, your stool, your urine, all those basic tests are done. HIV, hepatitis, so many things to just give us a basic background about the patient. And then every time you report for antenatal, screening is done. Your blood pressure will be checked every day. Your urine will be checked for proteins and for glucose, because diabetes is also another condition that can occur in pregnancy. Also, there are some medications that are given in the course of the pregnancy. In Africa, anemia is a problem. So you get to be educated on what to eat well. You get to be given supplements to take for the care of your baby and for yourself as well. And if you're attending antenatal, we know your base blood pressure. So when we realize, as you come serially, that your blood pressure is now going up, then we can keep an eye on it. Then we can put in measures, okay? Also, as you go through your antenatal period, you have to receive your tetanus injections. You have to also take preventive medication against malaria. All those things are done. But for a condition as severe as preeclampsia, it can easily be picked up. Initially, when preeclampsia starts, it's painless. Hypertension does not hurt until you have complications. So if you, let's say your blood pressure, when she got to the hospital, her blood pressure at the top bit was above 200. Okay, that tells you it was out over the top.
But she was able to get to the hospital. She was just normal.
Yes. So
Wow.
in the initial
ambulance,
stages,
though.
I'm sure when it started rising, she felt no pain.
Yeah.
When you start feeling headaches, you start feeling pain, it means the complications have started. But if we were checking during the antenatal period, we'd be able to pick up those things. So we cannot overemphasize it. And when you go to antenatal, you have the chance to ask questions. You have the chance to bring up things that have not been said. And other things, you get education about other things, other situations in pregnancy, about breastfeeding. So it is very, very important for yourself and to bring a healthy baby into this world.
Wow. So if you're out there and maybe for some reasons you have your business or you don't really have time to be able to go for antenatal services, please, you need to make time for it. According to doctor, if you do not, they will not be able to find out or maybe discover all those underlying issues that could have been avoided. So please decide from today that you will go for your antenatal, care. Okay. So let's get over to you. If you're, what do you think you know now about preeclampsia that sometimes you just ask yourself, if only I knew about this earlier, so that you could advise those who are just hearing about preeclampsia today?
The signs and symptoms.
Okay.
It's because on hindsight, I noticed that I experienced the signs and symptoms, but I ignored them because I didn't know what it meant. Something like swollen face and hands. My hands got swollen. I actually took off my ring. The Saturday before the Sunday, my mom drew my attention to it that looks like I'm swelling. I told her, oh, she likes to talk too much.
I'm carrying a baby, so I have to swell up.
Talk too much. So I ignored that. There was a day that I felt quite dizzy, but once again I thought I was hungry, so I ate. And then, so I'm saying that the signs and symptoms, because for me, I don't have high blood pressure in terms of even the normal one. My pressure is quite low. So for my early stages of antenatal was around 100. So it was quite normal for me. But then knowing that, okay, my base is around 100, if it gets to maybe 130 or 125 going to 130, it can cause an alarm, because under normal circumstance, I'm sometimes below 100 or around 100. Therefore, the doctors can start paying a bit of attention. I gained a lot of weight, and I thought it was because of pregnancy. I thought because I had just gotten married, and I got, prior to me getting married, I went to a boot camp. I lost a lot of weight. So right after marriage, I became pregnant. So I felt I was piling up all the weight that I had lost earlier, And I remember very well, I went for one of my antenatal. When they checked my weight, the nurse asked me to come back again to check the weight again.
She couldn't believe what she saw.
Yeah, but I didn't know why. I didn't know why. So yes, I was told, oh, reduce what you're eating, And the thing again is, if you see something, the something is what I didn't know, what I was supposed to look out for. So if we know this, and that's why we are creating that awareness, that if you know the signs and symptoms, if you know yourself. When I went outside, because they had seen me the first and they didn't know me, so if I'm swollen, they can't tell that I'm swollen.
Tell.
Because I lost a child at 34 weeks, around 8 months.
Yeah.
So if I can't tell myself, I don't know myself that, okay, I'm actually swollen and bring it to the attention, they can miss it. So the most important thing that I wish I knew were the signs and symptoms, and not ignore them when they show up.
Okay. So are there natural ways we could prevent preeclampsia, doctor?
I wouldn't use the word prevent. I would say there are things we can do to reduce our risk of getting preeclampsia.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're black, you're black. It's a risk factor. I mean, you can't change that. But then there are some things that we can do. So, for example, if you already have chronic hypertension, for example, it will be better for you to attend prenatal clinic. That's before you get pregnant, such that the doctor would make sure your blood pressures are under control. So you have control before you get pregnant, because otherwise the chronic hypertension will now put you at risk of getting preeclampsia. For other conditions like your renal disease, diabetes, you attend the prenatal clinic, and then we put all of those under control. Also, just basic lifestyle changes. So if you're overweight, you want to reduce the weight into a normal BMI range. If you are eating food that's high in calories, high in fats and sugars, you want to reduce that and tend to a diet that's higher in vegetables and fruits. You want to stop smoking and living a sedentary lifestyle if that's what you do. So those are a few things we can do to reduce our risk, but not necessarily prevent.
Fantastic.
Okay.
You know what? There's a footage I want to link you to, and what I like about this footage is that the Ifeasapong Foundation put it together and are playing it across various antenatal homes and hospitals, maternity hospitals. So when you go there and you see this footage on the screen, please tell more people around you around what is going on around preeclampsia. I'd like you to watch this video. Even if you don't get to go to any maternity hospital, at least you have the information that you need to equip you so that you can advise and also counsel others about it. Let's watch it.
Hey, Sister Akosua, this pregnancy looks so good on you. I can see that right from the early stages, your face was swollen, your feet were swollen, and your hands were swollen too. I can see that your husband is doing so well looking after you. You are really enjoying this pregnancy.
It's true. She has really gained weight, and I've been seeing her vomiting there and now. This pregnancy really looks good on you. Is it not obvious that her husband takes very good care of her? Look at how she's blushing. She just looks so lovely and beautiful in this pregnancy. You look so good, Sister Kusia.
Hey, you people. Sometimes I experience this severe headache and blurry vision, and also experience this sharp pain in my upper abdomen. But I've been told how pregnancy is, and very soon my baby will be here and everything will be over.
Akosua, Akosia, please come. I've heard that Brakwame's wife has just collapsed and they've rushed her to the hospital with the same symptoms that you have been mentioning all the time. Please, let's go to the hospital and check yours right now. I don't want anything to happen to you.
Mr. Boateng, thank you for bringing your wife Akosia to the hospital. You have saved her life. Severe preeclampsia is a potentially life-threatening condition which happens in pregnancy after 20 weeks. It is one of the leading causes of maternal death in Ghana. The condition is characterized by increase in blood pressure above 140/90 and protein in the urine. Some of the signs and symptoms the pregnant woman may experience includes swelling of the face, hands, feet or the whole body, severe headaches, blurred or double vision,
Excessive weight gain.
or sensitivity to light. They also may have pain in the upper part of the abdomen and some nausea and vomiting. Any pregnant woman who experiences any of these symptoms should quickly report to the nearest health facility to avoid death of the mother, baby, or both of them.
Every pregnant woman should attend antenatal visits regularly.
Let us educate our mothers, sisters, aunties, and every pregnant woman to help save their lives.
This message is brought to you by the Preeclampsia Initiative in collaboration with Ghana Health Service.
Wow, thank you very much, Ifya Sapong Foundation, for this information. You see, at the beginning stage, some people felt like the person who was adding so much weight was being well taken care of by the spouse, but that was not the case. Sometimes you are swelling up because there's a situation, underlying situation, and when you go for your antenatal care, they get to find out if everything is okay. Wouldn't you feel okay when you go to see the doctor and they're able to say, we've checked A, B, C, D, and everything is fine? Or even if they're able to identify one thing that you need to actually, pay better attention to. It helps you to be able to move, along the pregnancy, because now you know what you need to be watching out for. So she kept saying it, that she cannot overemphasize the need for antenatal care. And we hope that what we saw in the footage doesn't get to happen to you. But if it happens to somebody who is around, we would like you to give the person a message of hope, that all hope is not lost and it's not a death sentence. Okay, I'd like to keep us all abreast about what's happening this month. This is SANS Awareness Month. Okay, so what's SANS? SANS has to do with stillbirth and neonatal death. So you may have lost, a baby, maybe a stillbirth baby, or a baby that just, didn't really stay after it was born, and you are grieving over it. Well, if you go over to our Twitter page, a Facebook page, and even Instagram page, you get to express your loss and your grief, because a lot of parents are grieving within and are not talking about their loss, and it's even leading them towards depression. So this month, we want people to be able to express themselves, celebrate what God gave them for a little time, and then maybe say goodbye to the ones that have been lost. And since we have a doctor here, we would like the doctor to actually talk to us around, stillbirth and neonatal death. It's something that we really have to take a look at, because preeclampsia can expose you to something like this. So, doctor, please, if there's something you need to add, let's let our audience know about it.
Okay, so stillbirths also have risk factors, and it's usually, apart from congenital abnormalities that the child might have, that's something that must have happened genetically. There are also conditions in the mother that can predispose to a stillbirth. Preeclampsia is one of them. Diabetes in pregnancy is one of them. Other conditions like severe anemia in pregnancy can also predispose a mother to having a stillbirth baby. For early neonatal death, there are issues that can happen within the antenatal period, during labor, and then also immediately after the child is born. So as we were saying, if you go to antenatal care, the risk factor will be picked up, and whatever needs to be done about it will be done about it. When it comes to intrapartum care, that is the labor and delivery, let us not, some people say, oh, for my family, we always deliver at home. So they deliver at home. Oh, there's this old woman in the community where we all deliver, so let me go and deliver there. No, there are health facilities all over the place. Kindly report to a certified health facility where you have certified midwives and doctors who can take care of you in the course of your labor and pregnancy. When your midwife or your doctor tells you anything, maybe you have this condition which predisposes the baby, we might have to deliver you a bit earlier. Please listen. Health workers are there. We are there for you. We learned this profession because of you. We will not say or do anything that would harm you. So when we suggest management to you, would be happy if you would listen and make the hospitals your friend. I mean, if you have any symptoms, any what we call danger signs in pregnancy, as soon as you experience any of those, you realize there's water leaking out, you're bleeding, how your baby used to move, the baby is moving less. If you have signs and symptoms of preeclampsia, for example, we want you to report as early as possible. In the early neonatal period, after you've given birth to your baby, you try as much as possible to breastfeed, and you try as much as possible to do cord care as you have been taught. Please do not apply cow dung, Pepsodent, and all sorts of herbal concoctions to the baby's cord. Use the prescribed medication you've been given in the hospital to care for the baby's cord. Some people would apply enemas, what we locally call bentoa. They'll just put all forms of concoctions and say the baby's poop is black. In the early days, that's the color of the poop. So please do not give the baby an enema to clear it out. When you notice your baby has jaundice, if the eyes, the skin turns yellow, please go to the nearest health facility and be taken care of. All these things can be taken care of. They can be managed. They can be treated. So let's make the hospital the nearest our point of call if any of these things happen, so that we can prevent those that are preventable. We can do a lot to prevent them.
Wow. We'll be going for our final commercial break. When we return, we get to find out what Efiasapong has been doing all this time, especially when she commemorated the day of preeclampsia. Do stay with us. To eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. As usual, I like to acknowledge the presence of all those who are watching us on Facebook. Hello. Thank you all for joining. And I've seen so many waves from across the world. I've seen my first wave from the UK, Ezinwano Kereke, another wave from Abuja, Nnewi, Awka, Nsoka, all in Nigeria. Thank you very much. I also see a lot of wave from Togo, Burkina Faso, Malaysia. I see from UAE. I see from Bangkok. I see from Japan. And I see a wave from China. Yes, we've always had waves from Japan, Malaysia, but China, I haven't seen one. Thank you so much for joining in this time around. I also see waves from Ghana. Thank you from Accra, from Volta region, from Sunyani, Axim, Takrade, Hafasini. Thank you all for joining in. Let me take some comments, okay? I may not be able to mention where you're waving from, but let me read this one. It's from Ruth Sam. She says, very brave of you to share your experience. God bless you. Ariana Amma says, Dr. Catherine Atumbeko, well done, my dear. I'm still learning from you and watching. Neville Kelugu says, thank you, Dr. Atumbeko. You are the best. Brenda Kwanzaa says, very educative. Thank you, Nanefia, for sharing your story. Gloria Antubuatin says, very educative. Wow. And I'm seeing other people who are just giving us, fire and love and smileys and hugs. Thank you all. So we'll be wrapping up very soon, but we'd like to also see what Efiasapong Foundation did to commemorate, Day of Preeclampsia across the world. What would you want to tell us that you did?
World Preeclampsia Day is May 22nd. This year we actually commemorate the day on May 19th at Salt Pond in the central region with the Salt Pond Government Hospital. Okay. Where we had about 50 pregnant women that were present, including the community as well.
Fantastic.
We had the Central Regional Minister being the special guest speaker at the event. So at the event, it was good. There was a role play teach them what the signs and symptoms are. We launched the video that was just shown, and then we were able to donate some blood pressure machines to the hospital, and also to be given to the pregnant women as a project that they're going to do, where these pregnant women will be taught how to take their blood pressure at home, and giving like a chart to record everything, and then they come to antenatal with that chart. So it's something that went really well this year.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
So could you just say something to the spouses or maybe partners?
Oh, yes.
Say something to them, you know, because you actually went through this. What can they do to support you? Should they be saying sorry and be rubbing your back or rubbing your feet? What should they be doing? Let them know now, because I'm sure a lot of them will really want to know how to help.
To the spouses, I would say they should also be abreast with what the signs and symptoms are. It is very necessary for them to also know, and also our mothers. So not just our spouses, but our mothers as well, because most of the time in our setting, when we are pregnant, we have, you know, our mothers around that are helping us. So they should be able to give us the room and the opportunity to talk about anything that is happening to us. You know, there are so many myths around pregnancy that it makes it difficult for us to express ourselves if we even have any concern. It's like maybe you are worrying too much, or you are faking something, maybe you are faking cravings, or you're making up stuff. So when our spouses and our mothers are well abreast about this condition, they can give us, you know, that necessary support. When I was pregnant after the loss, my husband was more like my portable Doppler. So when I wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night when I feel like nothing is happening, then I'll just wake him up to put his ear on my tummy.
to know whether he can feel the baby.
Yes, he can hear anything, because I took him through the whole process to know exactly, you know, what is happening. So the support is very good. Go to antenatal with us. It's necessary when you're going for antenatal. Please come with us. Get to know what is happening. It's good. The support is really good, especially if it's your first time. You really don't know what to expect. You don't know what is happening. So if you feel like you're alone, it doesn't help.
Okay, thank you very much. And I think that will be the final word we're getting. Already, doctor has been emphasizing on having to get your antenatal care. So once we are done with this show, decide, okay, that you'll be going henceforth. The repeat broadcast of this show will be coming to you on Saturday at 12 noon. However, if you missed it and you really want to get to watch it, it will be uploaded on our YouTube page tomorrow. And you can also watch the watch party. So go to our Facebook page at eTVGhana and you get to watch everything once again. So until we meet next week, I want you to enjoy the rest of our interesting lineup for you. Bye-bye.